I was going to a bakery, a very large 200,000 square foot bakery, and trying to get my information together before I went in and made my presentation to whoever I ran into first. And it just so happened to be some guy out in the lot checking on trailers and doing some inventory. So I talked to him a little bit, and he assured me that there was nothing in the building that we needed or that they had to give to us. But he did give me a name of somebody, so I went on to the next step, which got me to the gate with a name to see if they had anything in there, because most facilities that have food that they're getting rid of. You know that. A lot of it's going to waste. So before I even got a chance to talk into the speaker, a pickup truck came out and wondered what I was doing there. And that man, I gave him the name, and he said, I know who that is, and called him on the phone right away. As he was talking to him on the phone, he looked at me and said, now who are you with again? And I said, Blessings of Hope. And he did a little double take and looked at me and said to the guy, all right, I'll call you back.
Welcome to Hopecast, where we share hope and inspiration about what God is doing at Blessings of Hope in our local community and in our personal lives. I'm your host, David Lapp. Today I am joined by John Higgins. John works at our Kentucky facility. So anything you want to share here in the beginning, John?
Not more than that. Kentucky is a true blessing to the people of the state and the surrounding states. We do reach out to a number of other states, and it has been a big help in ministering to people.
Mm-hmm. So scripture for today is out of Colossians 3:13. It says, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you must do. And if we think about forgiveness is more than just saying you're sorry or forgiveness is actually releasing it to God where it doesn't affect you anymore. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for ourselves. And if we understand that if we have something against somebody else and we can forgive them and we can release that to God and trust God with that, then we can be free and we don't have to carry those burdens anymore. So as we get into this conversation, John, if you think about Blessings of Hope in Kentucky, how did you first hear about it, or how did you get involved?
Well, I've done some work in Kentucky since I've been there for 7 years, and I walked into a building, a business, and they said to me, John, somebody was just in here from a food pantry, and they gave me the business card, and we really don't have anything to do with that, but you might. So I took that card and called that same day, and within the week I was volunteering at Blessings of Hope in Campbellsville. So it fit right in with things that I've done in the past, and that was in 2020, and I've been there ever since. 2 years as a volunteer, and then you guys took me on as an employee, and I've been there 2 years.
So with your job as a food procurement, what does that look like? Like what's a normal day look like? I know normal is relevant here, but when you go out, how do you make these connections?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different ways. Some of it's done on the computer, with finding some of these facilities that are out there. And others are done right there on the road, whether I see a chimney with a lot of smoke coming out of it, thinking that maybe there's some food being processed in there, which a lot of times there is. There's a lot of manufacturing going on in the Kentucky area and in Tennessee. We reach down into Tennessee quite a bit. So there's many, many different ways. I have a couple of ones that stand out pretty much, and that one of them was I was going to a bakery, a very large 200,000 square foot bakery, and trying to get my information together before I went in and made my presentation to whoever I ran into first. And it just so happened to be some guy out in the lot checking on trailers and doing some inventory. So I talked to him a little bit, and he assured me that there was nothing in the building that we needed, or that they had to give to us. But he did give me a name of somebody, so I went on to the next step, which got me to the gate with a name to see if they had anything in there, because most facilities that have food that they're getting rid of. We know that. It's a lot of it's going to waste. So before I even got a chance to talk into the speaker, a pickup truck came out and wondered what I was doing there. And that man, I gave him the name, and he said, I know who that is, and called him on the phone right away. As he was talking to him on the phone, he looked at me and said, now who are you with again? And I said, Blessings of Hope. And he did a little double take and looked at me and said to the guy, all right, I'll call you back. And he said to me, I'm the guy you need to be talking to.
Okay. Wow.
So before I even got home from that little day trip, I was in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He had already sent me an email with all the information that the product that they had and that they would be needing to pass on. So, so when those kind of things work out, I thank the Lord for that He's made my job.
When you think you're looking for somebody over here and God brings the person you need to talk
right to me.
Right to you. It's just, wow, incredible. And yeah, it's just building relationships and letting them know what we do and letting them know that we can utilize a product that they have to move on.
Yes, I'd like to, if I could, just give a little history of what took place down there in Kentucky. There was a few brothers down there, the Gingrich brothers, and they had a food ministry going for some time, and then it kind of got overwhelming for them. And after a period of time, Blessings of Hope came along and said, we're going to start sending some food down there for you guys to distribute. So that formed that partnership there. And when we started, there was one employee, about 15 volunteers. I was one of them. And we were open 2 days a week. And we would get one truck a month. Mm-hmm. And the phone calls would go out to the ministries. I was also not just a volunteer, but I was involved in some local ministries too. And that phone call would come and say, we got a truck in, and you're welcome to come over. We'll be open Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock. So that was the beginning. Now, 4 years later, it has gotten to, there's 8 of us on staff now, about 200 volunteers, roughly 300 ministries, if I'm not mistaken, that come occasionally with a number of some pretty good sized ones. But the truck now we get once a week instead of once a month. We're up to once a week with a couple in between when certain products become available.
And some stuff locally.
And the local part, yes. Yep. And that's been coming in on a regular basis from the surrounding area. And
that's the beauty of our model there with Blessings of Hope, is we can scale it, we can grow it. As we start bringing more in locally, we ship less from here. And it just makes all the difference. So.
And that's my job, is to get out there and try and find it locally. And that's
so what gets you excited about what you do?
Well, not so much what I do. Well, what I do is nice, but to see Blessings of Hope working down there and to see people being used of God through Blessings of Hope. When I started when I was volunteering, one of the things I like to work with the ministries and encourage them and get them, hyped up about what we're doing and about reaching people through the food and being the hands and feet of Jesus as we go.
Yep.
And encouraging them that they can do the same thing and more than what I can do, because they're out there seeing the people.
Yep.
So to see them grab a hold of that thing, because it's there. I mean, a lot of them just don't know what to do. And you give them some encouragement. And we have ministries who are helping other ministries. It's amazing to see when that happens, that somebody in need can help somebody else in need.
Yep.
And just a little story. I used to be in the hardware business, and we would go to shows in big cities, and I like to spend my free time on the street talking to homeless people, just being part of them and sitting down with them. And I was sitting there one day on a milk crate with a bag lady. That's the typical, the bag. We don't see them much where we are, but you go to a big city, the bag ladies are. And she was sitting there, and we were talking, and she was asking for people's doggy bags that were coming out of restaurants and stuff. And then a homeless guy walked by, and she said, you got a cigarette? And this homeless guy reached into his pocket, pulled out 2 crumpled up butts, and handed her one. And he put the other one back down in his pocket. That spoke to me that day. This was probably 15 years ago. But that's the kind of thing that people are doing at Blessings of Hope, helping each other. If it's not just some of our staff does that by taking collections up for certain ministries that need maybe a refrigerator or something like that, or ministries needing food, but they can't, they don't have the resources to purchase it or to get it. And another ministry, whether it be getting stuff for them or lending them a trailer to haul stuff, it's really nice to see all that.
So what I'm hearing you say is the body of Christ working together, helping each other, not competing against each other, but helping each other for a greater cause.
Yes, very much so, and that blesses my heart when I see that happening. I wish that the word heart was in Blessings of Hope somewhere too, because I see hearts just being used so good.
So is there a God story that really stands out to you, other than the story that you shared about the man that drove up to you and said he's the man to talk to? Well, I'm sure you meet God stories along the way. Like, is there one that just stands out to you right now as you think through the last couple months?
Yeah, I guess it would be the day that ministry was in there doing their thing, and another one came along, and this guy overheard a situation taking place with our ministry relations person and this ministry, and they were trying to work out getting some products, and this other guy overheard it and said, I'll get that for you. It was a whole skid of beans.
Wow.
And it was a soup kitchen that was needing food, and this guy, he said, I'll take care of getting that skid of beans. Not only paying for it, the fee, but also getting it to him with his trailer delivered. Yeah, and so, that something like that would bring tears to your eyes.
Yeah. So when you think about the Blessings of Hope Kentucky location, what do you see in 5 years? Is it going to keep on growing? Is what's the opportunity in the region?
Yeah, well, the opportunity is very large. We're within earshot of Nashville, Knoxville, Louisville, Cincinnati, and the needs are great there. Ministry-wise, we can reach out to them in certain ways, and then food-wise, I can see some of these smaller groups coming to us, and some already are. One in particular, a guy takes a trailer. He takes 2 trailers out. One of them for his tent for preaching and chairs and people to come to his evangelistic meeting, and the other one he fills up with food and distributes. And he goes, this isn't in the cities, he goes out into the country and out to where people don't have a whole lot of resources around them.
Wow.
So we're hoping to reach those people more. There's a lot of them out there, and a lot of good people helping them to not only get the food to them, but also preach the word to them and tell them that this life is just temporary.
Yep. Wow. Good. So anything you want to share here before we wrap this up?
Well, not more than just it's been a real treat being a part of Blessings of Hope for the last 4 years. And yeah, we're looking for a good future down there for sure. We just keep growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks for joining me today, John.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us on Hopecast. I'm David Lapp, your host, and also CEO of Blessings of Hope. To learn more about Blessings of Hope and how we serve the community, check out our website, blessingsofhope.com. Also want to thank you for being a part of Blessings of Hope and supporting the mission. Your support allows us to go into areas like Campbellsville, Kentucky, and start up a new satellite location. There's extra expenses that go into starting up a location like that, but we're with your support and with God's help, we're able to impact regions like Kentucky and hopefully beyond in the near future. God bless you, and remember that you can bring hope to the people that you meet every day.
Thank you for watching this episode of Hopecast. We hope you enjoyed it. Check out all the links in the description below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.